The day my husband ditched me for some younger girl. I swear it felt like my whole life fell apart. But what she found out. Man. That truth hit so hard it sent him running right back to me. Welcome to Emotional Tales Hub, where every story touches the heart. And every truth comes with a twist. I never thought I'd become that woman. The one who gets left behind. For someone younger, prettier and shinier. But life has a cruel sense of humor. And mine arrived the day my husband Mark walked into the kitchen. Without looking me in the eyes. He didn't sit. He didn't take a breath. He didn't soften his voice. He just said, "Emily, I'm moving out." Just like that. No warning. No conversation. No explanation that could soften the blow. Of 27 years. Falling apart in one sentence. I remember staring at him. Holding the coffee mug so tightly. My hands were shaking. Is there someone else? The question tasted bitter in my mouth. He hesitated. Not long enough to lie. Just long enough to confirm everything. Her name was Sasha. 26. Perfect skin. Perfect smile. Perfect future. At least that's what Mark thought. He was running toward. He packed a bag. While I stood frozen in the doorway. Watching a man I built a life with. Walk toward the door. As if I'd been nothing more than a chapter he outgrew. When the door closed behind him. The silence in the house. Felt louder than anything I'd ever heard. It was the kind of silence that wraps around your throat, making it hard to breathe. I sank onto the kitchen floor, crying into my hands, not because he left, but because I never thought he could. People say time heals everything, but that morning, time only hurt. My phone buzzed hours later, a message from an unknown number. I didn't recognize it at first, but the words made my heart drop. "Emily. This is Sasha. We need to talk. It's about Mark. And it's serious." My tears dried instantly. What could she possibly want with me? Why would the woman my husband left me for reach out to me on the very same day? And how did she even get my number? I stared at the message for minutes, my hands trembling, my mind spinning. Then another message came. "Please. It's urgent. And you deserve to know." The hurt in her words didn't make sense. Not yet. Soon. Soon. I'd learn the truth she uncovered. The truth that would send my husband running back to the wife he threw away. And trust me, I wasn't ready for what came next. Not at all. I kept staring at Sasha's text, like it was some kind of prank. I mean seriously. The girl my husband left me for. Texting me. On the same damn day he packed his stuff. And walked out. Felt unreal. I wiped my face. My eyes still burning from crying. And whispered to myself. No way in hell this is happening. But it was. And the more I stared at her message, the more it felt like something was off. Way off. Nobody sends a text like that. Unless something is seriously wrong. My phone buzzed again. "Emily, please. I wouldn't reach out unless I really needed you. It's about Mark." My heart straight up dropped. I should have ignored her. I should have blocked her number. And gone back to surviving the heartbreak my husband dumped on me that morning. But something inside me. Maybe the wife still clinging to the man she loved. Maybe the woman who needed answers. Made me text back. "What do you want?" She replied instantly. Like she'd been holding her breath. "Can we meet? Today. Somewhere private." Yeah, private. That didn't sound suspicious at all. I rolled my eyes and typed. "Why would I ever meet you?" She sent a voice note this time. Her voice shaky. Almost breaking. Press play. And the moment I heard her tone, a chill ran down my spine. She whispered. "Emily, he lied to both of us." Both of us. Froze. Then she added words. That made my stomach twist. "He's not the man you think he is. And I think he's hiding something from you. And from me." I sat down slowly. My legs weak. My chest tightening again. But this time, not from heartbreak, from fear. What is she talking about? I whispered to myself. And then I realized something. Something that hit me like a punch. If she was calling me, it meant she found something. Mark never wanted either of us to know. For a second, I felt anger. Real anger. Burning through the sadness. How dare he? How dare he leave me? Run to someone else. And still drag me into his mess. But before I could calm down, another message came through. Please, Emily. Just meet me. I'll show you everything. And trust me. You'll want to see it. I exhaled slowly. My heart pounding in my chest. Whatever this was, it wasn't about jealousy. It wasn't about drama. Her voice had fear. Real fear. And suddenly, I knew one thing. My marriage wasn't the only thing Mark lied about. There was something bigger. Something dangerous. Something he didn't want anyone to find. I grabbed my keys, with shaky hands, and whispered, "Okay, Sasha. Let's see what the hell he's been hiding." And with that, I stepped out of my house. Not as a betrayed wife, but as a woman about to uncover the truth behind the man who destroyed everything. I drove to the cafe Sasha picked, hands shaking the whole way. My mind was running laps. Anger, fear, confusion, all mixed together like a bad storm. When I walked in, my heart nearly stopped. Sasha looked nothing like the younger woman who stole my husband. Her makeup was smudged, eyes red like she'd been crying for hours, and her hands were trembling. As she held her coffee cup, she looked scared, not smug, not proud, not like the woman who won. She looked like someone whose world had crashed overnight. The moment she saw me, she stood up quickly. "Emily, thank God you came." I raised my hand. Cut the sweet tone. "Just tell me what the hell is going on." She swallowed hard. I didn't know how to say this. But Mark, he isn't who either of us thought he was. I rolled my eyes. "Yeah, no kidding. He cheated. Congratulations, you figured it out." She shook her head fast, almost panicked. "No, Emily, it's way worse. You don't understand." Then she pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. "What's this?" I asked. "Just read it," she whispered. It was a message from Mark, sent to her 3 months before he left me. My stomach twisted. It said, "Don't tell Emily anything yet. She finds out, we're both screwed." I felt my blood go cold. "What the hell does that mean?" I asked. Sasha bit her lip anxiously. "There's more." She played an audio recording. Mark's voice, angry and frantic. "She can't know. She finds out about the money. Or the account. I'm done. We're both done." Froze. Money. Account. My head spun. "What account?" I whispered. Sasha leaned closer, her voice shaking. "That's why I texted you. Mark told me he was separated. He told me you didn't care anymore. He lied to me. The same way he lied to you." Clenched my jaw. Hard. She continued. "I checked his drawer this morning. After he left your house. I found documents, bank statements, transfers, money he's been hiding." My heartbeat was in my throat now. "Hiding from who?" I asked. Her face turned pale. "You." I felt like the whole world tilted sideways. "He's been moving money for months," she whispered. "And not a small amount either." I gripped the table to steady myself. "Where?" I demanded. She looked me dead in the eyes. "Into an account under your name." My breath caught. "What?" She nodded. "It's like he was planning something. Something bad. Maybe taxes, maybe debt, maybe something worse. But if anything goes wrong, it leads back to you." My body went cold. Completely numb. "And now he's gone," I whispered. "He left me holding the mess." Sasha nodded, tears forming again. "That's why I called you. I swear I had no idea. But Emily, whatever he's involved in, dangerous. And you're the one set up to take the fall. I leaned back in my chair, my entire world collapsing. In a whole new way. Infidelity was one thing. But this was something darker, meaner, planned. And just like that, I realized. My husband didn't leave me for another woman. He left me to save himself. For a few seconds I couldn't move. Couldn't blink. Couldn't even breathe properly. It felt like my entire world shifted out from under my feet. He put everything under my name. My voice cracked as I said it. Sasha nodded slowly. I'm so sorry. I didn't know until this morning. When he didn't come back, I got this sick feeling in my stomach. So I looked through his things. I rubbed my forehead, trying to swallow the panic climbing my chest. This wasn't just betrayal. This wasn't just heartbreak. This was set-up level wrong. I whispered, almost to myself. He's trying to make me take the blame for something. Sasha swallowed hard. That's exactly what I'm scared of. I leaned back in the chair, my hands trembling. You're telling me my husband, the man I cooked for, cried for, built a life with, ran off with another woman, and on top of that, put illegal money under my name. Sasha bit her lip. Yes. Are you kidding me? The words burst out of me. Half laugh, half disbelief. This wasn't heartbreak anymore. This was survival. I looked at Sasha again. Really looked at her. She wasn't my enemy. She wasn't my replacement. She wasn't even the problem. She was another victim. Of the same man. Who'd been lying to both of us. And honestly, seeing her shaking like that, it made my anger burn even hotter. Sasha slid more papers toward me. He took out a credit line too. In your name. Thousands. I don't know what it's for. My stomach twisted. Credit. Hidden accounts. False signatures. It wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. How long? I asked quietly. She hesitated. Almost 8 months. Months. Damn months. Of lies. While I was home. Cooking dinners for him. And believing every excuse. About working late. My hands curled into fists. What does he want? I whispered. Sasha shook her head. I don't know. But whatever he's doing, he's covering his tracks. He's using you as the fall person. My throat tightened. Made sense. Horrible, twisted sense. He didn't leave because he stopped loving me. He left because he couldn't let me find out what he was doing behind my back. And now I had his entire mess hanging over my head. I whispered, voice shaky and low. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Sasha reached for my hand, hesitant but sincere. Emily, we're both in danger. And we both need answers. She took a breath. We have to figure out what he's hiding. And why he ran. I pulled my hand back gently, still stunned. I can't believe this. I muttered. Sasha nodded. I know. But one thing is clear. Mark didn't just break our hearts. She looked straight at me. He set us up. I felt chills run through my entire body. 'Cause deep down, I knew she was right. And somehow, I also knew. This was only the beginning. I grabbed the papers Sasha handed me. And shoved them into my bag. My fingers shaking so badly. I almost dropped them. People always talk about heartbreak. Like it's the worst thing in the world. But trust me, there's something worse. Realizing the person you loved might destroy your entire life. Just to save his own. I stood up from the table, feeling like the air around me was getting thinner. I need to get out of here, I whispered. Sasha stood too. Emily, wait. No. My voice cracked but stayed firm. I need a minute. My head's spinning. Sasha stepped back, hands raised slightly. Okay. But please don't disappear. We need to talk more. I gave her a stiff nod and walked out of the cafe. My heart pounding so loud, I could feel it in my ears. The moment I hit the sidewalk, I leaned against the wall, and let out a shaky breath. God, what did he get me into? People walked by. Like nothing was happening. Like my entire world wasn't crashing down around me. I pulled out my phone and opened my bank app. Something I rarely did. Because Mark always handled finances. Biggest mistake of my life. And there it was. Second account. Opened 5 months ago. Under my name. Balance. $186,200. I nearly dropped the phone. What the hell? I scrolled. Transactions. Transfers. Amounts that made no sense. Withdrawals. Large ones. But none of them ever went to me. He was moving money. Through my identity. And I had no idea. My hands went cold. That bastard. I whispered. Voice shaking. He used me. For years I thought. Mark's worst flaw was that he stopped loving me. But now I realized. He didn't stop loving me. He stopped needing me. Except as a cover. And suddenly, a memory hit me hard. Mark panicking last winter. Saying he lost his wallet. Telling me to sign some routine paperwork. Claiming his boss needed documents updated. Oh my God. He'd been planning this. For months, maybe years. I covered my mouth. Tears stinging my eyes. No way. No freaking way. My phone buzzed. A message from Sasha again. Sasha. Emily, please. We need to talk. There's more you haven't seen yet. More. I didn't think I could handle more. But I typed back anyway. Meet me at the park. 15 minutes. Because whatever this was, whatever hell Mark created, I wasn't running from it anymore. I was going to look it right in the face. As I walked toward my car, I whispered under my breath. You wanted to play games, Mark. Fine. But you picked the wrong woman. To betray. And for the first time, since he left, I wasn't just heartbroken. I was angry, focused, ready. But I had no idea. The truth Sasha was about to show me was far worse than the money. There was something that could destroy me in ways I never imagined. By the time I reached the park, my pulse was racing like I'd run a marathon. The wind felt colder, harsher, like even the weather knew. Something ugly was waiting for me. Sasha was already there, pacing back and forth, near an empty bench. She looked up the moment she saw me, and hurried over. Emily, thank God. I thought you weren't coming. I crossed my arms tightly. Well, I'm here. So tell me, what else could possibly be worse than finding out my husband stole my identity and hid almost 200 grand under my name? Sasha swallowed hard, her face going pale. This isn't about money anymore. My stomach dropped. I hated how familiar that feeling was getting. What does that mean? Pressed. She hesitated, looking around the park, like she was afraid someone might be watching. Okay, she said quietly. I found something in his drawer. Not bank stuff. Not statements. Something else. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small black folder. My mouth went dry. What's in that? Sasha handed it to me slowly. It's documents, files, stuff that didn't feel right the moment I saw them. I opened the folder, and my heart nearly stopped. There were photocopies of IDs. Fake IDs. Not mine. Not his. Random women. Random addresses. Random lives. What is all this? I whispered. Sasha's voice shook. I don't know. But it freaked me out. Why would he have fake IDs? Why would he keep these hidden? I flipped through the pages, my hands trembling, and then I froze on one sheet. Passport photo. Mark's face. But not Mark's name. The name read Daniel Harris. I stared at it, my mind refusing to process what my eyes were seeing. He has a fake passport, I whispered. Sasha nodded. And that's not all. She pointed to the last page. Plane ticket. Booked under the fake name. Destination, Mexico City. Departure. Tomorrow morning. My legs went weak. He's leaving the country, I whispered. Sasha nodded again, tears forming in her eyes. And he's not coming back. He planned to disappear, Emily. Completely. Start a new life. New name. New everything. Felt sick. He was going to leave both of us behind, I said slowly. Me with the debt. Me with the illegal accounts. Me with the mess. And you with nothing. Sasha wiped her tears. But that's not even the worst part. And blinked. There's worse. She nodded shakily. Yes, because I checked the timestamp on the plane ticket purchase. My stomach twisted into knots. When did he buy it? Sasha inhaled sharply. Her voice barely above a whisper. 2 days before he left you. I felt something inside me break. A deep, violent crack. That shook me to my core. He didn't leave in anger. He didn't leave impulsively. He didn't leave because of love, or lust, or passion. He left 'cause he was running. Running from something bigger. Running from something darker. Running from something he didn't want either of us connected to. And he was planning to vanish tomorrow, leaving me as the perfect scapegoat. I grabbed the bench for support, my voice barely coming out. Sasha. He wasn't planning a life with you. She nodded, crying. I know. He was only buying time. Using me. Using you. Using all of us. I looked at the fake passport again, my hands trembling uncontrollably. He's not just a cheater, I whispered. He's a criminal. And for the first time since this started, a terrifying thought hit me. If he's willing to run, what else is he willing to do? Sasha covered her mouth as fear washed over her. Emily, we need to be careful. Because if he realizes we know the truth, she broke into a sob. He might come after us. For a moment neither of us spoke. We just stood there in the cold. 2 women blindsided by the same man, the same liar, the same walking disaster. Finally I whispered, okay, what do we do now? Sasha shook her head quickly. I don't know. But we can't just sit here and hope he magically stops being crazy. I let out a humorless laugh. Yeah, Mark doesn't stop anything. He just gets better at hiding it. Sasha wiped her face and pointed to the folder. Emily, there's one more page you haven't seen. I frowned. What page? She reached into the folder again and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. I hadn't noticed earlier. Her voice lowered. He kept this one separate, like he didn't want anyone finding it. I unfolded it slowly, and the moment I saw the handwriting, my stomach dropped to the ground. It was my signature, repeated dozens of times, all of them forged. My breath caught in my throat. Sasha, these are fake signatures of me. She nodded nervously. That's why I freaked out. He was practicing your signature. Over and over. My hands started to shake so hard, I had to steady them on my lap. He forged my name for something, I whispered. But what? Sasha looked sick. Emily. He wasn't planning to run alone. He was planning to run. After framing you for everything he did, including the money. A wave of nausea hit me so strong, I had to close my eyes. Jesus Christ. Breathe. He was going to dump everything on me. The accounts, the IDs, the fraud. Everything. Sasha nodded. That's why he kept the ticket hidden. He wanted it to look like you took the money and disappeared. I felt my chest tightening. Anger, betrayal, fear. All mixing into something sharp and burning. That son of a... My phone suddenly vibrated in my hand. I looked down at the screen, and every drop of blood vanished from my face. Mark. He was calling me. Sasha gasped. Oh my God, don't answer. Emily. But I didn't press decline. I just stared at the screen, frozen. Why was he calling? Why now? Did he know we were together? Did he realize we had figured him out? The phone kept buzzing, the sound drilling into my skull. Then it stopped. A second later, A new notification popped up. One voicemail. Sasha grabbed my wrist. Emily. I swear if he knows. I'm listening, I said through a shaky breath. I tapped the voicemail. Mark's voice came on. Like a man smiling while holding a knife behind his back. Emily, we need to talk. It's important. Call me back. Now. Sasha covered her mouth. That tone. He knows something. He definitely knows something. I stared at my phone. Heart pounding so hard. I thought it might crack my ribs. Why would he suddenly want to talk? I whispered. Sasha's voice trembled. Because maybe he realized. You're not as clueless as he thought you were. I swallowed hard. We need to move, I said suddenly. Right now. Where? To my house. I need to see something. Something I should have checked. A long time ago. What? Sasha asked. I took a deep breath. My voice low and tight. Mark kept a locked drawer in his office. He never let me touch it. Never let me near it. I need to know what's inside. Sasha's eyes widened. You think he left something? He nodded. If he's planning to run tomorrow, he might have packed most things. But Mark always forgets one detail. Always. Sasha stepped closer. What if he didn't? What if he took everything? I looked her dead in the eyes. Then we'll know. And if he didn't? I exhaled shakily. We'll finally see what kind of monster he really is. And with that, we headed toward my car, completely unaware that we were already being watched. And not by just anyone, but by the man we were trying to escape. The drive back to my house felt like it took hours, even though it was barely 15 minutes. Every car behind us looked suspicious. Every turn felt like someone was following. Sasha kept glancing at the rearview mirror. Emily, I swear that black SUV has been behind us since the park. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Don't say that. Don't even joke about that. I'm not joking. Check the mirror. And God help me. She was right. Same headlights, same hood shape, same distance. Sasha. Her voice cracked. What do? We don't panic, I said. Even though I was panicking so hard. Could barely breathe. When we turned into my neighborhood, I made a sharp right. Not toward my house, but down a side street. The SUV didn't turn. I let out a weak, shaky breath. Okay. Maybe we're being paranoid. Yeah, Sasha whispered. But her voice said she didn't believe it. Neither did I. We finally parked outside my house. Everything looked normal. Too normal. No lights on. No broken windows. No sign anyone had been here. But as soon as I stepped foot inside, a chill raced down my spine. Something was off. Emily, Sasha asked softly. You okay? No, I whispered. Something's wrong. Because the house smelled different. Like men's cologne. But fresh. Emily. I swallowed. It smells like Mark. Sasha's eyes widened. You think he's been here? I don't know, I whispered. But we need to check that drawer. We moved quickly through the house. Every shadow feeling like it was watching us. His office door creaked when I pushed it open. I hadn't been inside here since he left. Felt like walking into a graveyard. The desk was the same. The chair was the same. Even his stupid framed "World's Best Husband" mug was still sitting there. The irony almost laughable. But the drawer, that drawer, was still locked. Sasha whispered, How do we get it open? I reached into the cabinet and grabbed a flat screwdriver. Watch. I jammed it into the edge and twisted hard. The lock snapped with a crack. My heart hammered as I pulled the drawer open. Inside, there was a folder. Black. Heavy. I lifted it slowly. Sasha held her breath. What's inside? I opened it and nearly fell backward. Emily. Sasha grabbed my arm. What is it? Photos. Dozens of them. Not of me. Not of Sasha. Photos of women. Different ages. Different towns. different states. But all of them had one thing in common. They were photographed secretly. Grocery stores, parking lots, bus stop, ended, creepy, stalker-level photos. Sasha whispered, horrified. "Oh my God, who are these women?" I shook my head, my voice barely coming out. "I don't know. I don't know who they are. I don't know why he has this. I don't know anything anymore." And then I saw it. The last photo in the stack. My blood froze. Because it wasn't a stranger. It was me. Taken 2 months ago. At a grocery store. From behind a display. When I had no idea anyone was near me. Sasha's hand flew to her mouth. "Emily, that's..." "I know." My voice shook violently. "It's me." Sasha stepped back, terrified. "This isn't normal. This isn't cheating. This isn't even fraud. Emily, this is dangerous. He was watching you." I felt my knees weaken. "He was stalking me," I whispered. "My own husband was stalking me." Tears blurred my vision. What kind of man does that? What kind of man pretends to love you? And then follows you like your prey? Sasha grabbed my hand. "Emily, we need to call someone. Police. Lawyer. Somebody." I opened my mouth to answer. But that's when we heard it. Soft noise. A floorboard creaking. Somewhere deeper in the house. Sasha's eyes widened with terror. "Emily, we're not alone." The moment that floorboard creaked, my entire body went cold. Sasha clutched my arm so tight. Her nails dug into my skin. "Emily," she whispered, barely breathing. "Someone's in the house." I lifted a finger to my lips. "Don't talk. Don't move." We both stood completely still, listening. Another creak. This one closer. Low. Steady. Like someone trying not to be heard. My heart was pounding so loud. I swore the whole neighborhood could hear it. Sasha mouthed. "It's him." I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to even imagine it. But the cologne smell. The untouched house. The SUV. Everything made sense now. Mark wasn't calling to talk. He wasn't calling to explain. He was calling to confirm whether I was home. He wanted to catch me alone. And now, we weren't alone. I grabbed Sasha's hand. My voice was barely a breath. "Go. Quietly. Don't run. Just move." We backed toward the hallway. Slow and silent. But the moment we stepped into the hall, footsteps sounded from the living room. Fast, heavy, purposeful. Sasha gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Emily, we can't go that way." I yanked her toward the back hallway. "This way. Laundry room. Window." We rushed. As quietly as two terrified women could. But halfway there, something glinted on the floor. I stopped dead in my tracks. Sasha bumped into me. "What? Why are you?" I pointed with a trembling hand. No. Key. The key to the locked drawer. It wasn't there earlier. It wasn't dropped by us. It was placed there. Deliberately. My mouth went dry. "He's in here," I whispered. "And he wants us to know it." Sasha's entire body shook. "This is sick. This is really, really sick." We kept moving. But then a voice drifted through the house. Cold. Almost amused. "Emily." Sasha froze. I nearly dropped the folder. "You home, sweetheart." His voice. Mark's voice. Deep and steady. Like he wasn't breaking laws. Ruining lives. Or stalking his own wife. He sounded like a man. Coming home from work. "We should talk." Sasha grabbed my arm. "We need to get out now." "I know." But the laundry room was still far. And he was close. I pulled Sasha into the nearest room. The guest bedroom. And shut the door silently. We pressed against the wall. Barely breathing. Mark's footsteps moved through the hall. Low. Searching. Deliberate. Knuckles on the guest bedroom door. Sasha's eyes flooded with terror. Mark's voice leaned in softly. His tone chillingly casual. "Emily, why are you hiding?" I clamped a hand over my mouth, my breath shaking uncontrollably. Sasha mouthed. He knows. He knows. The doorknob jiggled. Low. Testing. Like he wanted to savor the fear. Then he chuckled. Low, sick laugh. Come on, baby. Don't make this difficult. My heart hammered so violently. Physically hurt. Emily, Sasha whispered. He's not going to leave. I know. We need a way out. I know. But how? I swallowed hard, my mind racing. There was only one way out of this. And it wasn't through the door. I pointed toward the closet. Through there. Sasha frowned. What? That's a dead end. No, I whispered, moving quickly. There's an attic hatch in the closet ceiling. Sasha's eyes widened as realization hit her. I dropped to my knees, stood on a shelf, pushed up the small wooden square, and it opened. Turned to Sasha. Go. Now. She climbed up first, trembling so badly. I had to push her from below. Mark's voice came again, closer this time. Emily. I'm done being patient. The doorknob twisted harder. He was trying to open the door now. Go, Sasha, go. I whispered urgently. She scrambled inside the attic, then reached down for me. Hurry. Climbed up, heart ready to burst. Just as the bedroom doorknob finally snapped open, we slid the attic hatch shut. A second before the door swung wide. Below us, Mark stepped into the room. We could hear him breathing. Low. Predatory. He walked around the room, his footsteps directly under us. Then he said quietly, too quietly, You can't hide forever. Sasha covered her mouth. I squeezed her hand. We were trapped, in the dark, above a man, who was no longer my husband, but a stranger, capable of anything. And the worst part, he wasn't leaving, he was waiting. The attic was pitch black, so cramped that every breath felt like it echoed. Sasha pressed her back against the wooden beams, her hands shaking uncontrollably. Emily. I can hear him breathing. Quiet, I whispered, even though my own voice was trembling. He'll hear us if we talk. Below us, Mark's footsteps slowed, then stopped, right under the attic hatch. We could literally feel the vibration of his boots through the wood. He wasn't moving anymore. He was listening. Sasha's breath hitched, a tiny, terrified sound, and I instantly covered her mouth, pulling her close. My heart pounded so loud, I thought it would give us away. Mark exhaled softly, almost amused. You two think you're smarter than me? Sasha squeezed her eyes shut, silent tears rolling down her cheeks. I whispered into her ear. It's okay, just breathe. Quiet, quiet. 'Cause one wrong sound, and he'd drag us out of here, like trapped animals. A long minute passed, then another, and creak. His foot shifted. He moved toward the closet again. Not fast, not slow, purposeful. Like he knew exactly where we were. Like he was giving us time to panic. Sasha mouthed. He knows. I shook my head violently, even though a part of me agreed. Then we heard something worse. The sliding sound of the closet door opening. He was back inside the closet, right below us. I clamped my hand tighter over my mouth, to stop myself from gasping. Mark let out a low sigh. Cold, annoyed, patient. Emily. I've always been one step ahead of you. Sasha gripped my arm so tight. Her nails left marks. A moment later, a scraping sound echoed. Metal hitting wood. He was moving something heavy. What is he doing? Sasha mouthed. I didn't answer. 'Cause then I heard it. Ladder. He was dragging a ladder. Toward the closet. Toward the attic hatch. Sasha nearly sobbed. Oh my God, he's coming up. No, I whispered fiercely. Not yet. He's testing. He's trying to scare us. The ladder hit the wall with a thud. Mark climbed one rung. Then another. Then another. The wood under us vibrated. He was inches below the hatch. Sasha whispered, "Emily, I'm not ready to die today." "Stop," I whispered sharply. "We're not dying. Not today. Not because of him." We held our breath as Mark reached the top rung. And the attic hatch creaked. Moved. Just a little. As if he was pushing up on it. I held Sasha's hand so tight. I thought I might break her fingers. Then Mark spoke. Chilling. Calculated. "If you two were smart, you'd come down. Because running only makes things worse." The hatch didn't open. He didn't force it. He just pushed slightly. Enough to let us know he could. He was playing with us. Toying with us. Enjoying the fear. Then he climbed down the ladder. Slowly. Deliberately. We listened as he dragged the ladder away. His footsteps moving back toward the hall. Finally the house went quiet. Dead quiet. Sasha leaned her head against the beam. Exhaling shakily. He didn't open it. Why didn't he open it? I swallowed hard. Because he doesn't want a fight. Not yet. He wants control. He wants us scared. Sasha nodded shakily. He's definitely getting that. But I wasn't thinking about fear anymore. I was thinking about why he left without opening the hatch. And then it clicked. My heart sank. "He's not leaving," I whispered. Sasha looked at me confused. "What?" "He's waiting. He's going to wait us out." Sasha's face drained of color. "You think he'll stay? In the house? All night?" "Yes," I whispered. "Because he knows we'll have to come down eventually." Sasha stared at me like she couldn't process it. "Emily, what do we do?" I took a deep breath. "We don't come down. Not yet." "Then when?" "When we hear him leave." "But what if?" And right then, sound cut her off. Not from below. Not from outside. From the attic. Behind us. Soft shift. Like something or someone was already up there with us. Sasha stiffened. "Emily, tell me that wasn't." I turned my head slowly, my breath turning to ice. Because in the far corner of the attic, behind old boxes and shadows, something moved. Someone else was up here. And it wasn't Mark. My whole body went numb. I stared into the dark corner of the attic. The place I never looked. The place even I forgot existed. But someone, had just shifted behind the boxes. Sasha gripped my hand so hard. I thought my bones would snap. "Emily," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Tell me that was a raccoon. Or a cat. Or literally anything not human." I didn't blink. Couldn't. "That wasn't an animal," I whispered. There was no scratching. No scampering. No sound of paws. It was slow. Deliberate. Human. Sasha shook her head frantically. "No, no, no. Don't say that. Don't even think." Soft, shaky breath came from the darkness. Not ours. Not Mark's. Third voice. Weak. Terrified. "Please don't hurt me." Sasha gasped so loudly. I had to cover her mouth again. My heart slammed in my chest. That voice. It wasn't a man. It was a woman. A young woman. I whispered cautiously. My voice barely audible. "Who's there?" Silence. Then the boxes shifted again. And someone crawled forward. Sasha almost screamed. A girl. Maybe in her mid-20s. Covered in dust. Hair matted. Eyes red and swollen. Stumbled into the thin sliver of light. Coming from the attic vent. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Maybe weeks. Her hands trembled as she raised them. As if surrendering. "Please. Please don't tell him I'm here." My stomach dropped to the floor. Sasha stared, confused and terrified. Who are you?" The girl swallowed hard. Voice shaking violently. "My name is Lily." I exchanged a horrified glance with Sasha. Lily. Who the hell was Lily? I tried to stay calm. "Lily, why are you in my attic?" Her eyes filled with tears instantly. Because he put me here." Sasha froze. "He? Who's he?" Lily looked right at me, shaking, terrified, broken. Your husband, she whispered. Mark. Cold waves shot down my spine so fast. I nearly lost my balance. What do you mean he put you here? I asked, trembling. Lily hugged her knees, rocking slightly. He said, if I stayed quiet, if I hid, he wouldn't hurt me again. Sasha's face twisted in horror. Again. What do you mean again? Lily broke into sobs, covering her face. I tried to leave him. I tried to get away. But he found me. He dragged me here 2 nights ago and he locked me inside this attic. He said you'd never come up here. He said this was the safest place. For him. My blood turned to ice. 2 nights ago. That was the same night Mark lost his wallet. The same night he came home late. The same night he told me I was overreacting about everything. I whispered, barely able to breathe. You've been up here. With no food. No water. Lily nodded. He came and checked on me last night. But today he didn't. I heard him moving around earlier. So I stayed quiet. Sasha inched closer to me. Emily, your husband isn't just dangerous. He's a monster. I shook my head slowly, tears building in my eyes. No, he's worse than that. Lily crawled forward a little more, her voice cracking. Please, you have to help me. He said he'd come back tonight. He said if I tried to escape, he'd make me disappear. Suddenly, footsteps echoed downstairs again. Heavy, low, rhythmic. But this time, they weren't moving. They were waiting. Sasha whispered, panicked. Emily. If Lily was up here the whole time. My breath caught. Then I finished her sentence. Then Mark knows she'll eventually need to come down. The girl clutched my arm, trembling. He's waiting for me. He's waiting for you. He wants all of us trapped. Below us. A soft, chilling whistle drifted up the stairs. Mark's whistle. Usual. Patient. He wasn't just waiting. He was enjoying this. Sasha's voice cracked. What do we do? I swallowed hard, forcing myself to stay steady. We survive. Lily sobbed quietly. How? He's not leaving. I leaned forward, my voice low and fierce. Then neither are we. Not until we find a way to turn this whole thing against him. And right then, a new idea hit me. Dangerous, insane. But the only shot we had. An attic window. Small but real. Our one possible escape. But it would require 3 terrified women to crawl across old beams, keep silent, and survive a drop into the backyard. And Mark couldn't know. Not until we were gone. Not until it was too late. The second Lily mentioned he was coming back tonight, my whole body locked up with fear. Not because Mark was in the house, but because now there were 3 of us trapped with him. 3 women he had lied to, used, broken, and hidden like secrets he was saving for later. Sasha wiped her tears and whispered, Emily, we can't stay up here. We'll suffocate. We'll starve. He'll wait us out. He nodded. I know. Then I turned to Lily, who looked so fragile. I had to fight the urge to hug her. Lily, I whispered. How long has he been coming up here? He shivered. Twice. Once yesterday. And once this morning. He gives just enough water. So I don't pass out. Cold chill ran down my spine. He wanted her alive. Not safe. Not free. Alive. Sasha whispered, horrified. Emily. This man is unhinged. I tightened my jaw. We need to get to the attic window. Lily's eyes widened immediately. No, we can't. It's too small. The drop is too high. If he hears us. He won't, I whispered sharply. Because he thinks we're still frozen in fear. And because Mark always underestimated me. Always. Sasha nodded slowly. He won't expect us to climb out. I crawled toward the narrow beam pathway. Every movement sent dust falling. And each tiny noise made my pulse spike. Lily whispered behind me. Are you sure this is safe? I didn't look back. No, none of this is safe. We crawled forward carefully. Sasha behind me, Lily behind her, toward the tiny square window. At the far end of the attic. The window was old, cracked, barely big enough for one person at a time. But it was hope, real hope. We reached it, and I tested the frame. It didn't budge. Sasha's voice cracked. Please tell me it opens. Shoo. I tried again, this time pushing harder. No movement. Lily whispered urgently, tears in her voice. Emily, if it's painted shut. I shoved my shoulder into it. The old wood groaned. Just a hairline shift. Again, Sasha whispered. So I rammed it again, and finally, with a sharp crack, the frame loosened. A sliver of fresh night air hit my face. I exhaled shakily. We're getting out. Lily collapsed in relief, crying silently. But just then, a door slammed below us. Then another. Heavy footsteps, fast ones, moving room to room. Sasha froze. Oh God, he's searching. I peeked through the crack in the attic floor. Mark was in the hallway, moving aggressively, opening doors, checking closets. Then he stopped, right under us. And he said in a low, controlled voice, I know you're up there. My blood froze. He wasn't playing anymore. He wasn't teasing. Wasn't patient. He was angry. Dangerously angry. Lily whispered, shaking. He knows. He knows we're trying to leave. No, I whispered. He's guessing. He doesn't know for sure. But Mark's footsteps started toward the closet again. And then, the sound we feared most. The ladder being dragged back into the hall. Sasha grabbed my arm. Emily, we don't have time. I shoved the window open fully. Dust exploding into the air. Go. Now. Sasha hesitated. What about you? Go. She slid her legs through the window, dangling dangerously 3 stories up. Then twisted her body, finding the drain pipe with her shoe. Okay. I think I can do this, she whispered. Lily was next. She was shaking so hard. She couldn't move. Emily, I can't. I can't climb. I'm not strong enough. Yes, you are. I grabbed her shoulders firmly. You survived, Mark. You can survive a window. But downstairs. The ladder hit the closet door. Mark muttered. Round 2. Lily whimpered. Emily, please. Go, Lily. Now. Sasha reached down from outside and grabbed Lily's wrist. I've got you, Sasha whispered. Just trust me. Lily took a shuddering breath and slid out the window as Mark placed the ladder under the attic hatch. I was the only one left, alone, and the hatch creaked. He was coming up, right now. I swung my leg out the window, just as the attic hatch exploded open behind me. Mark's voice roared. Emily! I didn't look back. I just dropped into the night air, leaping for the drain pipe, as Mark lunged across the attic to grab me. My fingers barely caught the metal pipe. My shoulder tore with pain. My body swung wildly, but I held on. Behind me, through the open attic window, Mark leaned out into the night and screamed, You can't run from me. But he was wrong, because this time, I wasn't running. I was escaping. And he had no idea what I was about to do next. The second my fingers wrapped around that drain pipe, my entire shoulder screamed in pain. But the sound of Mark roaring my name pushed adrenaline through my veins like a lightning strike. I didn't dare look back. Sasha reached from below, whisper shouting, Emily, don't let go. Slow. I'm trying, hissed my voice cracking. The metal pipe was slick with dew, cold enough to sting my palms. My feet scraped the wall, trying to find any grip I could. Behind me, I heard Mark slam his hand against the attic window frame. Bang. Emily! Get back here. I kept climbing down, inch by terrifying inch. Sasha guided Lily to the ground first, then looked up at me, her eyes full of fear. Emily, he's climbing out of the window. What? I risked a glance over my shoulder. Mark was halfway through the attic window. His face twisted with rage. His eyes fixed on me like I was prey. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't planning. He was furious, and fury made him sloppy. He jumped onto the roof edge, almost slipping, grabbing the shingles with both hands. Lily screamed, "Sasha, move! Move!" Sasha backed up, pulling Lily with her. I dropped the last few feet, landing hard on the grass, my legs buckling under me. "Emily!" Sasha grabbed me, steadying my weight. "We have to go," I gasped. But Mark hit the ground behind the house. He had jumped from the second floor, like a man so angry. He didn't feel pain anymore. Sasha's eyes went wide. "Oh my God, he's insane. Run!" shouted. We sprinted across the yard, grass whipping against our ankles, my lungs burning. But Mark's footsteps thundered behind us, fast, heavy, a frightening reminder of how strong he really was. "You think you can get away from me?" he roared. We reached the side gate, but it was latched from the outside. Sasha fumbled with it, panicking. Come on, open, open." I shoved her aside. "Move!" I kicked the latch hard, and the rusty metal snapped open. We burst out into the driveway, just as Mark reached the gate behind us. He slammed into it so violently, the wood cracked. Sasha screamed, "Emily, he's going to break it. Car. Now!" We sprinted to my car. My hands shook uncontrollably as I fumbled for my keys. Lily sobbed, "He's right behind us, please." I jammed the key into the lock, threw Sasha and Lily into the back seat, dived into the driver's seat, and slammed the doors shut. Mark charged toward us, fist raised, eyes wild. I didn't think. I just turned the key. The engine roared to life. Mark reached the hood, slamming his hand on it, leaving a dent. "Emily!" I slammed the car into reverse, tires screeching, throwing gravel everywhere. Mark stumbled backward, but he didn't stop. He ran alongside the car. As I swerved out of the driveway, his hand pounding against the window. "You think this is over?" he screamed. "You think you can win?" I sped down the street, heart racing so fast. I thought I'd pass out. Lily was crying hysterically. Sasha was shaking violently. I was quiet, too quiet, because something about Mark's last words sent a deeper fear through me. "You think you can win?" He didn't sound threatened. He didn't sound scared. He sounded certain, confident, like he still had something left, something worse. Sasha grabbed the back of my seat. "Emily, where are we going?" I swallowed hard. "To the police station." But Lily sobbed harder. No, we can't. You don't understand, he has connections. He knows people. He always bragged about it. He said police don't scare him." I tightened my grip on the steering wheel. "Then we go somewhere even he can't touch." Sasha looked confused. "Where the hell is that?" I exhaled shakily. "My sister's place. She lives an hour out. Middle of nowhere. He won't know where she is." Sasha nodded quickly. Yes, that's good. We just need to disappear for a bit." Lily whispered, her voice empty and haunted. "You don't get it. He knew you'd run. He knew. He always knows." I glanced at her through the mirror. Her eyes were hollow, shaking, terrified beyond words. "What do you mean?" I asked. Lily swallowed hard. "Because he said it to me last night. Word for word." "What did he say?" Lily met my eyes in the mirror. "He said, when Emily finally figures me out, she'll run straight into the safest place she knows. And that's exactly where I'll be waiting." My heart nearly stopped. Usha gasped. "Oh my God." I hit the brakes hard. the car jerking. 'Cause suddenly, my sister's house didn't feel like a safe destination anymore. Felt like a trap. A trap he already predicted. A trap he might already be on his way to. And behind us, in the distance, headlights appeared. Yes, bright. Coming straight for us. The second those headlights appeared in the rearview mirror, my blood ran ice cold. Sasha leaned forward between the seats, voice shaking. Emily, please tell me that's not him. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe, because the car behind us wasn't just following, it was gaining. Less aggressive, focused. Lily curled into herself in the back seat, rocking with terror. He found us. He found us already. Sasha snapped. No, maybe it's just a random car. But then the headlights flashed once. 3 times. Not random. Signal. A signal Mark always used. Whenever he wanted me to pull over. So he could talk. I gripped the steering wheel so tightly. My knuckles turned white. Sasha whispered, horrified. That's him. It's him. Oh my God, it's him. Lily sobbed. He's not going to stop, Emily. He won't stop until he catches you. I floored the gas pedal. The engine roared. And the car shot forward. Sasha screamed. Go, go, go. The road blurred as I sped down the empty highway. Street lights streaking past like shooting stars. But Mark's car stayed glued to us. Getting closer. Closer. Too close. He swerved left, then right, trying to force me off the road. Sasha clung to the seat, panicking. Emily, he's trying to pit you. He's trying to crash you. I know, he yelled, trying to keep control. Lily covered her ears, crying uncontrollably. Please, please, I can't do this. I can't. He's going to kill us. I snapped back. No, he's not. Not tonight. Not this time. But inside, I wasn't sure. Not when he was inches from my bumper. Not when he was driving like a man. Who didn't care if he died. As long as he took us down with him. Sasha suddenly pointed ahead. Emily, the bridge. My heart stopped. A narrow bridge. With no shoulder. No escape route. No room for error. If he hit us there, we'd go into the river. I swallowed hard. Hold on. Sasha screamed. Emily, no, don't go on the bridge. I don't have a choice. Tires screeched. As we hit the wooden planks of the bridge. Water roared beneath us. Cold. Black. Mark accelerated. Fast. Too fast. He rammed the back of our car once. A violent jolt that threw my head forward. Usha shrieked. Lily curled into a ball. Stop. Please stop. I kept driving, fighting to keep control. As Mark slammed us again. And then, a horrifying metal-on-metal scrape echoed through the bridge. Sasha screamed, pointing. The rail. Emily, you're sliding toward the edge. I yanked the wheel. As hard as I could. Tires skidding. Car fishtailing. Mark rammed us again. Another hit. Another shove toward the side. Wood cracked under the weight. The car jerked violently. We were inches from going over the side. Lily sobbed hysterically. We're going to die. We're going to die. No, we're not, he yelled. Mark came in for another hit. But then something happened. Something he didn't expect. Truck. A massive semi-truck. Came around the curve on the opposite side. Honking its horn so loud. The bridge shook. Oh my God! Sasha screamed. Mark swerved too late. The semi swiped his car hard, sending him spinning sideways. His headlights whipped across the bridge. He lost control. Sasha grabbed my arm, yelling, Go, Emily! Drive now! I slammed the gas. Mark's car spun out and slammed into the railing. Hard. Metal crunched. Glass shattered. His car teetered on the edge of the bridge. Usha gasped. Oh my God, oh my God. Lily covered her mouth, shaking. Mark's car rocked, half hanging off. the river raging below. For a moment, everything went still. Even the truck driver froze, stunned. Mark looked straight at me, through his cracked windshield. His lips curled into a sick, bloody smile. He mouthed one word. "Run." Then his car tipped and fell straight into the dark water below. We heard a massive splash. Then nothing. Silence. Sasha collapsed against her seat, sobbing. Lily was shaking uncontrollably. I gripped the wheel, breathing so hard it hurt. "Is he dead?" Sasha whispered. I stared into the darkness. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to believe it. But deep down, something told me the truth. Men like Mark don't die that easily. And if he survived, he'd be coming back, worse than before. For a long moment, none of us moved. The only sound was the river crashing below, and the semi-truck's engine rumbling in shock. Sasha wiped her face with shaking hands. "Emily, we just watched him go under. He has to be dead." Lily hugged her knees, sobbing quietly. "That's what I thought too. The first time he tried to drown me, my stomach twisted." "What?" She nodded weakly. "He dragged me into a lake. He held me under. I barely survived. He only let me go because he thought it would look messy." Sasha stared in horror. This man was a complete psychopath. But I wasn't relaxed. Not even for a second. Because the river was loud. Too loud. And the night was dark. We didn't know if he surfaced. We didn't know if he swam. We didn't know if he escaped underwater. Like he'd escaped everything else. I whispered. "He could still be alive." Sasha shook her head. "Emily, nobody survives that." His car flipped. The window shattered. The water. "I know men like him," I said quietly. "He's slippery, Mark, connected, and sick enough to keep going even if he's half dead." The truck driver finally climbed out, wide-eyed and shaking. "Are you ladies all right?" he asked. "No," Sasha said bluntly. "We're not." Lily flinched at every sound, every movement. I cleared my throat, trying to stay steady. "We need the police. There's a man in the water. He tried to kill us." The truck driver's eyes widened. "Oh, I'll call it in. Right now." He grabbed his phone and stepped a few feet away. But before he even dialed, Lily grabbed my wrist. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "Emily." "No police." I frowned. "Lily, the police are the only ones who—" "No," she cried, panicking. "You don't understand. He has connections. He knows people. He bragged about it. He said if I ever told, no cop would believe a girl like me." Sasha leaned closer. "But Emily isn't like you. They'll believe her." Lily cut her off. "No, they won't. Not when they see his records. Not when they see his job. Not when they see who he knows." Sasha blinked. "What are you talking about?" Lily hesitated. Her entire body trembled. Then she whispered, "You don't know who Mark really is." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" She wiped her tears. Her voice small but steady. "He's not some random guy. He worked with people. Dangerous people. People who pay good money. To disappear." Sasha froze. "Disappear? Like fake identities?" Lily nodded. "That's why he had all those passports. Those women's photos. Your name on the accounts. He wasn't cheating, Emily." She swallowed hard. "He was running a business. A criminal one." My blood turned to ice. "What kind of business?" Her next words hit me like a punch to the chest. "Identity laundering." Sasha gasped. "Oh my God." Lily continued. "He takes people who want to disappear. Criminals, fugitives, abusers. And builds new lives for them. Fake names, fake IDs, new histories." Felt sick. Literally sick. "You're telling me my husband was making new identities for criminals?" She nodded. "And he used his wives as legal cover, as fronts, as throwaway names. He marries, uses their documentation, their credit, their signatures, then disappears with the client, and leaves the wife holding the bag. Sasha whispered, horrified. He's done this before. Lily nodded miserably. I'm wife number 3. My breath left my body. 3 wives. How many lives had he ruined before coming after mine? Lily continued. And he wasn't planning to just leave you, Emily. He was planning to vanish with someone else. Someone worse. I felt myself shaking. Who? Lily's voice cracked. A man wanted for multiple assaults. Someone violent. Someone desperate. Mark promised him a whole new identity. By the end of this week, Sasha choked out. He was planning to frame Emily and run away with a criminal. Lily nodded. Yes. My chest tightened painfully. Everything was twisting. Everything was new. Everything was far, far bigger than a marriage, or a cheating scandal, or a stolen bank account. Mark wasn't just a horrible husband. He was a predator, a trafficker of identities, and I was his next victim. I leaned against the car, my legs nearly giving out. So what now? Sasha whispered. If he survived that fall, and he knows we know this much. I looked at the bridge, the water, the darkness. He won't stop. Lily shook her head. No, he won't. Sasha grabbed my hand. So what do we do? I took a deep breath. That felt like swallowing fire. We stop running. Both women stared at me. I straightened up. We go to the police. But not the local ones. Not anyone he knows. Then who? Lily asked. I lifted my chin. The FBI. Sasha's eyes widened. Are you sure? Yes, because this isn't a domestic fight. This isn't just abuse. This isn't cheating or stalking. I looked at both of them. This is federal-level crime. And we're not just his victims. Exhaled. We're his evidence. And if Mark was alive, he'd come after that evidence. Hard. We didn't stay at the bridge for another second. The semi-truck driver kept asking questions. But I just shook my head and said, we need to go. Please. Don't follow us. He nodded, stunned, and stepped back as I pulled away. Lily was curled in the back seat, rocking back and forth, whispering. He's not dead. Guys like him don't die. They disappear. Sasha squeezed her hand gently. Lily, breathe. Just breathe. But even Sasha's voice was shaking. I drove fast. Fast enough to put distance between us and the river. Slow enough not to draw attention. We hit the main road and headed straight toward the city. Sasha leaned forward. Emily, you really think the FBI is going to take us seriously? Yes. My voice was low, steady. Because if Lily is right, and Mark was helping criminals escape, that's not small-town police business. That's federal, Sasha said quietly. Exactly. Lily sniffed, trying to stop crying. He used burner phones, encrypted emails. He talked about clients in code. I thought he was just paranoid. I swallowed hard. No, he was cautious. He knew what he was doing. But deep down, a worse thought was forming. If Mark survived, he wouldn't run. He'd retaliate. Because men like him don't tolerate losing control. After 30 minutes of driving, Sasha finally asked, where are we going? FBI isn't just on every street corner. I exhaled shakily. There's a federal field office downtown. Not the main building. But they'll have agents. Lily tensed. What if Mark gets there first? He won't. I said it confidently. But my heart didn't believe it. Another 20 minutes passed. Before the city skyline appeared. Lights glowing in the dark, giving us the illusion of safety. We pulled into a gas station first. Because we needed air. We needed to think. And my hands were shaking too hard to keep driving. Sasha turned to me. Emily, you're bleeding. I looked down. My shoulder, the one that caught the drain pipe, was swollen, scraped. A deep bruise already forming. I'm fine, I lied. You're not fine, Sasha said, voice cracking. But I shook my head. We don't have time for fine. Lily suddenly grabbed the car seat in panic. Emily! Look. I turned my head. Her voice barely held together. Please tell me that's not the same SUV. My heart dropped into my stomach. Across the street, behind the dim lights of the station, sat a black SUV. Same shape, same headlights, same damn presence. But this time, the engine was off. No movement. Just parked. Watching. Sasha whispered. Oh my God. He lived. I swallowed, fighting the terror rising inside me. No. It could be someone else. Really? Sasha asked. Because that looks exactly like the one that followed us earlier. Lily curled into herself. I told you. He always survives. My pulse hammered in my ears. I forced myself to think. He can't be here. He wouldn't have gotten out of the river that fast. Sasha shook her head. You don't know that. She was right. I didn't. But then, something happened that made the hairs on my arms rise. A shape moved inside the SUV. Someone was in it, watching us, not moving, not getting out, just watching. Lily's voice cracked. He's hunting us. No, I whispered. We're done being hunted. I turned the car back on. We go straight to the FBI. Sasha grabbed my arm. What if they don't believe us? What if he gets there first? What if he tells his own version? I met her eyes through the mirror. Then we make damn sure. Our version is the one they listen to. Lily nodded slowly, wiping her tears. Oh, okay. I pulled out of the gas station. And the SUV didn't move. Just sat there, watching, waiting. Maybe it was Mark. Maybe it wasn't. But I had a feeling in my gut. The kind of feeling you don't ignore. This wasn't over. Not even close. As we approached the city center, Lily whispered, Emily, can I ask you something? Yeah. Her voice shook. Why didn't he kill you? When he had the chance. When he stalked you. When he set you up. I hesitated. Then whispered the truth. Because he still needs something from me. Sasha turned slowly. What? I didn't take my eyes off the road. The final document. The one only I can access. The one he forged my signature for. Lily gasped. Oh my God. The last identity file. The one for the criminal he was helping escape. He nodded. Yeah. That one. Sasha whispered, horrified. Emily. If he's alive. I finished her sentence. He's coming for me. And as the FBI building came into view, lit by harsh white lights, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. Mark wasn't done. And neither was his plan. By the time we reached the federal building, my hands were shaking so badly. I had to grip the steering wheel just to keep them steady. The lights outside were bright, sharp, cold, like the building itself was watching us. Sasha whispered, This is it. No turning back. Lily hugged her arms tightly. He's going to come for us, Emily. No matter who we talk to. I looked back at her. No. If the FBI steps in, his game ends here. But even as I said it, a voice inside me whispered, Are you sure? We parked and walked toward the entrance. The air felt heavy. Too quiet. Too still. Inside, a woman at the front desk glanced up. Can I help you? I swallowed hard. Yes. We need to speak to a federal agent. It's an emergency. The woman's eyes narrowed slightly. Regarding what? I didn't hesitate. Identity trafficking. Multiple victims. Our lives are in danger. That got her attention. She stood up immediately and pressed a button on her desk. Follow me. Sasha gripped my hand. Lily walked like her legs barely worked. They took us to a secure waiting room. White walls, metal chairs, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. 5 minutes later, Two agents entered. A woman in her 40s, with sharp eyes and a calm voice, and a man in a suit, younger, serious. The woman spoke first. "I'm Special Agent Rivera. This is Agent Coleman. We were told you have information regarding identity laundering." He nodded. "Yes, my husband, my ex, he's involved in something big. We're not safe." Agent Rivera pulled out a notepad. "Sit. Tell me everything." We sat, trembling, exhausted, broken. But I talked. For 40 straight minutes. I told them everything. Mark's lies, the fake passports, the stalking, the money under my name, car chase, the fall into the river. Sasha added the details I missed. Lily spoke in shaking bursts, enough to make both agents sit up straighter. Agent Rivera's expression hardened. The second Lily mentioned that Mark hid her in the attic. "Did he force you?" Rivera asked softly. Lily nodded, tears falling. "He said he'd kill me if I made a sound." Coleman's jaw tightened. "This guy's a predator." Rivera looked at me. "You said he fell from a bridge." "Yes," I whispered. "In the river. His car went under." Coleman stood. "We need confirmation." "Rivera, I'll check with local units." But Rivera didn't move. She kept staring at me, studying me. "Emily," she said slowly, "did your husband ever mention a name, a client, anyone specific?" I shook my head. "Not directly. Just, he said something about a big one coming. Someone desperate. Someone violent." Rivera exchanged a look with Coleman. Then she asked, "Did he ever mention the name Evan Reyes?" My heart dropped. "Yes," Lily whispered instantly. "That's the one. He said that name." Sasha's eyes widened. "Who is he?" Rivera exhaled slowly. "Evan Reyes isn't just some criminal." Coleman stepped closer. "He's top of our federal watch list. Wanted for multiple assaults, extortion, disappearances. We've been tracking him for months." My stomach twisted. Rivera continued. "And we know he paid someone to build him a new identity." She looked directly at me. "That someone was your husband." I felt the air leave my lungs. Sasha covered her mouth. "Oh my God," Lily whispered. "He told us. He said if he helped this guy escape, he'd be set for life." Rivera nodded. "Yes, Reyes is extremely dangerous. And if your husband was helping him, Emily, this isn't just a marriage gone wrong. This is federal crime." I swallowed hard. There was something else I needed to ask. "Agent Rivera, if Mark survived, if he's still alive, where would he go?" Rivera didn't hesitate to finish the job. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. "You mean to get the last identity document?" Rivera met my eyes. "Yes, the one only you can access." A sickening silence filled the room. Lily whispered, "Emily, he's coming for you." I nodded slowly. "And we're running out of time." But then Rivera said something that made my blood turn to ice. "Emily, there's something else we found." "What?" She slid a file onto the table. A file stamped, "Confidential, active case." Your husband wasn't just helping Reyes escape. My hands trembled. Rivera opened the folder. He was working with him. I stared at the photos inside. Mark and Reyes, together, at a diner, at a storage facility, at an airport, all smiling, all familiar, all recent. My voice cracked. He wasn't running from Reyes. Rivera shook her head. No. He wasn't running from him. Coleman stood with folded arms. They were partners. The room spun. Lily gasped. Sasha whispered, "Oh my God, Emily." Rivera leaned forward. "And if your husband survived that fall?" I already knew the ending. I whispered it myself. "He's not coming after me alone." Rivera nodded. Reyes is with him. My heart stopped. My husband. And a wanted federal fugitive. Together. And they were coming for the one thing that could save them or destroy them. Me. For a moment, I couldn't feel my hands. Couldn't feel my legs. Couldn't feel anything. Mark wasn't just alive. He wasn't just dangerous. He was teamed up with one of the most violent men in the entire country. Sasha whispered, terrified. Emily, if they're together, you're not dealing with a jealous husband anymore. You're dealing with two criminals who have nothing to lose. Lily covered her face, like she was trying not to vomit. Agent Rivera's voice was calm. Come. Like she didn't want to freak us out even more. Emily, listen to me. If they survive that fall, they're going to be aggressive, desperate, dangerous. I swallowed hard. What happens now? What do we do? Agent Coleman answered. First we protect you. And we separate all three of you. You'll each go into temporary protective holding. Sasha grabbed my hand instantly. No. We stay together. Not an option, Rivera said firmly. 3 witnesses in one place. Too risky. Lily started shaking violently. No, please, don't separate us. Mark will find us. Reyes will find us. You don't understand. Rivera crouched in front of her. Lily, I promise you. You're safe here. But Lily shook her head so fast. Her hair flew. No. Well, he always finds us. He always finds us. He said it. He said, distance won't save you. Sasha whispered. She's right. Mark is calculated. Reyes is violent. They're the worst possible combination. I looked at Rivera. What exactly do they want from me? Rivera exchanged a heavy look with Coleman. Then she said, the file Mark forced you to sign. The one you thought was routine paperwork. That wasn't random, Emily. My heartbeat thudded. What was it? Coleman slid another folder across the table. The final authorization. For Evan Reyes' new identity. Felt sick. You're saying, if they get that file, Reyes disappears forever. Rivera nodded. And Mark walks away. Rich. And unnamed. I felt the walls closing in. So they're coming after me. Because I'm the only person who can access that file. Rivera didn't sugarcoat it. Yes. Sasha gripped my arm. Emily. This is bigger than anything. They're not going to stop. But before she could finish. A loud, heavy thud shook the floor. All 3 of us froze. Rivera shot to her feet. Coleman reached for his gun. The lights flickered. Lily screamed. What was that? Rivera held up a hand. Combat razor sharp. Nobody move. Another thud. Closer. Heavier. Alert. Red emergency lights started flashing. A sharp alarm buzzed in the hallway. A voice crackled on the intercom. All units. Front entrance breach. Repeat. Possible forced entry. My blood froze. Usha gasped. Oh my God. No way. No way. Rivera grabbed her radio. Control, who breached the front? Static. Crackling. We have 2 suspects. Armed. Forcing their way in. One matching description of Reyes. The other. The radio cut out. But we didn't need the rest. We already knew the other man. Rivera cursed under her breath. Damn it. Coleman, take the girls to the secure room. Now. Coleman moved fast. Let's go. All of you move. But Lily collapsed. No, no, no. He can't be here. He can't be here. This place is federal. Sasha grabbed her shoulders. Lily, get up. Rivera pressed a button on the wall. A steel door began lowering. Between us and the main hallway. Come on. Coleman shouted. We sprinted. I didn't look back. But I heard it. Bang. A door being kicked in. Bang. Another explosion. Closer. Boom. The sound of something heavy. Slamming against steel. Sasha screamed. Emily, faster. I grabbed Lily's arm and yanked her forward. Rivera shouted from behind. Coleman, lock the girls down. I'll hold them off. No, he yelled. You can't. But Rivera slammed a second steel gate behind us, separating herself from us. Final barrier. Her voice echoed behind the metal. Go! Coleman shoved us into a reinforced room, slammed the door, and locked it. The room was dark, cold, silent. Sasha grabbed me, crying. What if they get through? What if they get in? Lily curled in the corner, rocking violently. He said he'd chase me to the ends of the earth. He said he'd drag me back. He said he'd make sure. I never talked. The step. Heavy. Purposeful. Right outside the steel door. Sasha covered her mouth. No, no, no. How did they get this far? I stepped toward the door, heart hammering like a drum. And then a voice. Cold. Familiar. Emily. My blood turned to ice. Mark. Open the door. Lily broke into a scream. Sasha sobbed uncontrollably. I stood frozen. His next words were worse. You're going to finish what you started. And then a second voice. Rougher, more dangerous. Let us in, sweetheart. We've been looking for you. And then, bang. The steel door shook. With a first hit. Bang. A dent formed. Bang. Sasha screamed. Lily cried hysterically. And I whispered the truth. I was terrified to admit. They're going to break in. The steel door wasn't supposed to shake. Not this door. Not this room. But with every hit, the metal bent a little more. Bang. A deeper dent. Bang. The lock rattled like it was barely holding on. Sasha grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Emily. They're gonna get in. They're actually gonna get in. Lily was in the corner, rocking, crying, whispering the same sentence over and over. He said he'd come. He said he'd come. He said he'd never let me go. My chest felt like it was splitting open. Then Mark's voice came again. Too calm, too familiar. Emily, sweetheart. I just want to talk. That tone. God, I knew that tone. It was the same one he used whenever he was about to do something terrible. Sasha hissed under her breath. He's lying. He's always lying. Then Rhea's voice cut through the hallway. Dark, cold, dangerous. Open the damn door. We ain't got time for this. My heart slammed into my ribs. Rhea's was pissed, which meant something was wrong. Something urgent. And that was somehow even more terrifying. Boom. Another hit. The hinges groaned. Coleman's voice crackled faintly through the emergency speaker inside the room. Emily. Back away from the door. We're almost there. But his voice sounded far. Too far. Sasha shouted at the speaker. Hurry. They're breaking in. Lily suddenly grabbed my hand. With ice-cold fingers. Her voice was barely a whisper. Emily. He said if he ever came back for me, he'd take me first. He'd make an example out of me. Her whole body shook. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to comfort someone when I couldn't even breathe myself. Bang. The top hinge bent halfway out. Dust fell from the ceiling. Sasha whimpered. God, please, please. Why aren't the agents here yet? The footsteps outside shifted. 2 sets. Pacing. Mark's voice softer. Emily. Think about everything we had. Everything we built. My hands curled into fists. You destroyed everything we built. Shouted back. Was. Then his voice sharpened. The real him. The one I'd always been scared of. If you don't open this door, you're choosing the wrong side. A chill went down my spine. Wrong side of what? Silence. Then Reyes leaned close enough that his breath hit the cracks in the door. We're not here to hurt you, Reyes. We just need that file. Once we have it, we walk away. I swallowed hard. And what about Sasha? What about Lily? Reyes chuckled. Low, cruel. Dead weight. Lily screamed. I stepped in front of her. My voice cracked. "You're not taking anything from me." Another pause. Then Mark said something that nearly dropped me to my knees. "Emily, you don't understand. If we don't get that file, they'll kill me." My breath hitched. "They?" Mark exhaled shakily. "Reyes isn't the only one," Sasha whispered. "Oh my God. There's more." Before I could ask anything, boom, the bottom hinge snapped. The door dropped an inch. Wind rushed in from the hallway. Sasha screamed. "They're in. Emily, they're getting in." Coleman's voice suddenly blasted through the speaker. "Emily, get to the back wall. Do it now." The lights flickered. I grabbed Lily with one hand, Sasha with the other, and pulled them both toward the far wall. We pressed into the cold metal. As the door gave one last groaning sound, crack, the door ripped forward, still clinging to one hinge, swinging sideways enough for a man to slip through. Mark stepped in first. Wet clothes, mud on his shoes, blood on his forehead, his eyes wild, unhinged, and behind him, Liz, huge, bruised, breathing like a bull. They stepped into the room, and I swear the temperature dropped. Mark smiled at me, a broken, desperate smile. "Baby, don't make this harder than it needs to be." Reyes cracked his knuckles. "We ain't leaving without you." My heart stopped. Bang, bang, bang. Gunshots exploded through the hallway. Reyes cursed loudly and spun toward the door. "Feds!" Mark backed up, panicking. Sasha grabbed me. "Emily, now's our chance, run." The chaos outside intensified. Shouts, shots, footsteps. Mark lunged for me. But I moved. For the first time since all this started, I ran toward the danger. Not away from it. Toward the one tiny gap in the broken doorway. Toward the agents. Toward whatever came next. Because anything was better than staying trapped with him. The hallway was pure chaos. Boots pounding. Guns drawn. Agents shouting over each other. I sprinted toward the gap. Before Mark could grab me. But he wasn't far. I heard his voice behind me. Cracked. Desperate. Furious. "Emily, don't you dare walk away from me." I didn't look back. Not anymore. The second I slipped into the hallway, Agent Coleman appeared from the left. Gun raised. "Emily! Down!" I dropped instantly. Just as Reyes burst through the doorway behind me, Coleman fired. Pop, pop, pop. Reyes stumbled back, slammed into the frame, but somehow stayed standing. Like the bullets only pissed him off. He roared. "You think that's gonna stop me?" Mark dragged himself out behind him, blood running down his arm. His eyes locked on me. "Emily, please. Just give me the file. They'll kill me." Coleman shouted. "Don't listen to him. Move." He grabbed my arm and yanked me behind him, as two more agents formed a shield wall in front. "Get the girls," Coleman barked. Two female agents rushed past us and scooped Sasha and Lily from the broken room, practically carrying them out. Lily screamed the second she saw Mark. "No, don't let him near me. Please." Mark's face twisted in something dark, almost pride. "You tell them, sweetheart. Tell them who you belong to." Sasha lunged like she wanted to kill him herself. "You monster. You ruined all of our lives." Reyes took a step forward. Huge, unstoppable. "Shut up and hand over the damn file," he shouted. Rivera finally appeared at the far end of the hallway. Blood on her cheek. Gun steady. It was cold. "Reyes," she yelled. "Drop the weapon." He didn't drop anything. He smirked. "Lady, if I drop this gun, the only thing hitting this floor is you." Rivera didn't blink. "Last warning." Mark suddenly raised his voice. Cracking, breaking, panicked. "Emily, listen to me. If Reyes doesn't get that file, I die tonight." I stepped out from behind Coleman, my voice shaking but firm. You dragged all of us into this. Not me. Mark's face hardened. You think they'll protect you. You think the FBI cares about you. The only person who ever loved you was me. A cold, bitter laugh escaped my throat. You didn't love me. You used me. Reyes growled. Enough talking. And then he raised his gun. Right at me. Coleman shouted. Emily, get down now. Reyes fired. Bang. Drop. Someone screamed. Sasha. Lily. I didn't know. My ears rang. My heart hammered. But I wasn't hit. I looked up. Rivera had tackled me. As the bullet chipped the wall, Coleman yelled, "Take them out!" The hallway exploded in gunfire. Pop, 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 pop. Reyes staggered. Finally, falling to his knees. Mark screamed. No. Well, you idiots, you promised. He lunged toward Rivera. To me. But Sasha did something none of us expected. She grabbed a fallen agent's stun gun and fired it directly into Mark's chest. Is she? He convulsed, collapsing to the ground. Face down. Silence. Heavy breathing. The gunfire stopped. Reyes lay sprawled on the floor, finally still. Mark groaned weakly, unable to move. Coleman kicked away their weapons. Rivera exhaled a long, painful breath. It's over, she said quietly. It's finally over. Sasha dropped the stun gun and fell to her knees, sobbing. Lily collapsed into an agent's arms, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. And me. I stood there, shaking, blood pounding in my ears, staring at the man who once promised me the world and tried to destroy mine instead. Mark looked up at me, face twisted in anger. You ruined everything, he whispered. If you'd just obeyed, we could have had it all. I stepped closer, my voice barely audible. No, Mark, you ruined yourself. He laughed weakly. You think you're safe. You think this ends. Rivera knelt beside him. Oh, it ends, she said. With you in custody. And Reyes off the streets. Mark's face contorted with rage. You're all dead. You hear me? You're dead. Rivera shut him up. With a swift elbow to the jaw, he went silent. Agents cuffed him. And Reyes' lifeless body was taken away under a sheet. I turned to Sasha and Lily. They both rushed at me, hugging me so tightly, could barely breathe. Emily, Sasha sobbed. You're safe. You're finally safe. And for the first time, in what felt like forever, I believed her. But deep down, I knew there was still one more part of the story left to tell. The part about what happened after. The part about how you rebuild a life that was shattered. The part about what came next. They say when a storm finally ends, the silence feels unreal, like your body doesn't quite trust that danger is gone. That's exactly how it felt. The night they arrested Mark and zipped Reyes into a black bag. For hours, we sat in the federal building, wrapped in blankets, shaking, trying to understand that we were actually safe. Sasha held my hand the entire time. Lily never let go of my arm. Not even once. Her grip said more than any words could. Agent Rivera came in after midnight, exhausted, bruised, but finally smiling. She sat across from us and said, You three, you survived something most people wouldn't. Sasha sniffed. That's one way to put it. Rivera chuckled softly. Well, I have some news. We all leaned in. Reyes is gone. And Mark is being transferred to a federal detention facility. He'll be charged with identity trafficking, kidnapping, attempted murder, and accessory to violent crimes. I felt something deep inside me loosen, like a chain that had been wrapped around my ribs, finally broke apart. Lily whispered, So, he can't find us. Rivera shook her head. Not in this lifetime. Lily burst into tears. But this time, they weren't fear. They were release. Then Rivera turned to me. And Emily, your case is strong. Very strong. What you went through isn't going unnoticed. I inhaled shakily. But what happens now? For all of us. Rivera smiled gently. You heal. You rebuild. You live. Easier said than done. But still, the first time someone had said, we could live without fear. A month later, my life didn't magically become perfect. Healing isn't clean. Trauma doesn't vanish. But every morning, I woke up without Mark's shadow hanging over me. That alone felt like a miracle. Sasha moved into a new apartment nearby. She said she wanted to keep an eye on me. But really, we needed each other more than ever. We cooked dinner together on Thursdays. We watched trashy TV shows and laughed in ways we hadn't in years. And Lily started therapy. She began sleeping through the night. She applied for college classes. And one morning she showed up at my door with the brightest smile I'd ever seen on her. I got accepted, she said. Emily, I get to start over. I hugged her so tight. She squeaked. The day everything came full circle. It was spring, warm sun, new leaves, life quietly rebuilding itself. I walked into my tiny backyard and sat under the old tree Mark used to hate. The one he said blocked the view, but to me, never blocked anything. Gave shade, gave peace. Sasha came out with lemonade. Look at you, she teased. Thriving. I'm trying, I laughed. She sat beside me. We survived hell. We deserve quiet. I nodded slowly. Quiet. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Agent Rivera. Mark accepted a plea deal. He confessed everything. Everything. The trafficking. The identity fraud. The abuse. The manipulation. The crimes with Reyes. Everything. My hands trembled. As I whispered, it's over. Truly over. Sasha smiled softly. Then it's time you give yourself permission to live again. I leaned my head on her shoulder. For the first time, in so many years, I actually believed, the final lines. My husband left me for a younger woman, and I thought that was the end of my story, the end of my life. But it wasn't. It was the beginning. The moment I finally found out who I was without him and who I could still become. I didn't just survive him. I reclaimed myself. And that was the real ending. The peaceful one. The powerful one. The one I deserved.